Today, I am joined by the fabulous Dr. Amanda Holden, founder and CEO of Holden Timeless Beauty, powered by Alpha Aesthetics. Dr. Holden is nationally recognized as a leader in medical aesthetics, blending clinical expertise with business strategy. She's also the co-founder of Alpha Aesthetics Partners, where she focuses on establishing best practices, education, and advancing clinical excellence. Amanda also serves as the director of business and practice management for AMWC Americas and sits on the clinical advisory board for Alpha. She's also a faculty trainer for Galderma, BTL, Repeat MD, and Alaskan Skincare. She's the host of Holding Time Back podcast, a sought after speaker and mentor, and she'll be featured in a major upcoming aesthetic event. She'll be featured at major upcoming events, including Aesthetic Next 7.0 in Dallas and the Women in Leadership Conference. Amanda, welcome. I love that your mission is helping people hold time back with medical aesthetics, and I can't wait to dive in.
Thank you so much, Georgine. It's such a pleasure to be here, and thank you for having me today on your podcast. I'm excited to share and just be here to talk and share information about aesthetics.
Awesome. Let's jump right in. So, what are you seeing today as the biggest trends in aesthetics right now?
In my clinic, so we primarily focus on injectables, and then microneedling, radiofrequency, and laser treatments, and then medical grade skincare. And I would say the biggest trends are that people are doing a lot more Sculptra, and they're starting with Sculptra as a global volumizer. And then with that, whether or not someone has the mindset when they want botulinum toxin type A in their face, they're doing Botox Cosmetic or Dysport along with it, and then they're doing filler as icing on the cake. I mean, combining that obviously with other things like microneedling with radiofrequency and laser treatments for specific conditions. They're doing that whole gamut at our offices at Holden Timeless Beauty, but really Sculptra is the biggest thing that people are starting with, and it is flying off of our shelves.
So, for our listeners who don't know what Sculptra is compared to other injectables, can you break it down for us?
Yes, absolutely. So Sculptra is a biostimulator. So I put it in a category as a filler for the face, but it's really a global filler, and it creates volume and adds volume back to your face. And I'll tell you kind of why we need this and what it does. So what I tell my patients is imagine a little chia seed. It's really poly L-lactic acid. That little chia seed, there are thousands of them in a vial that I mix with sterile water, and then I inject it into your face where you are losing volume, particularly the posterior parts of your face, in your temples, in your area under your cheeks, in your, we call it the preauricular area, but in front of the ear, and in the jawline. I even put a little bit in the nasolabial fold in the chin if someone has volume deficits there, and those sleepers lines in the middle of the face. And what that little chia seed does is it stimulates your body to produce collagen in a 3D matrix. And at 6 months, that little seed disappears, and you're left with your body's own natural collagen in a 3D matrix that has filled volume back to that area where we've lost bony structure, where we've lost fat pads, where our muscles have atrophied. And when you have that volume add back, you look more like your youthful self in your own natural proportions. It was also found last year that this particular molecule downregulates production of pigment in the skin. So you actually see a more even glow in your face as well as it grows in over 6 months. So that's what I tell my patients. They love it. How much do you need? Typically need one vial per decade of life for replacement. So you want to start in your mid 30s to mid 40s. If you're already 50, 60 and you haven't done anything, you're going to still see that biostimulatory effect, but it's just going to not be quite as ramped up as it would be if you were younger. So it's a great treatment for us to truly hold time back and age differently. I have it in my face. I've done my replacement vials. I'm 47. I've done 5 vials, and think of it as a fertilizer to the face. Everybody responds slightly differently. Somebody my age might do great with 4, somebody might need 6. So there's kind of a range of what you need. So we just kind of follow you clinically over 3 to 6 months after we inject you, and we do 2 vials at a time. And people absolutely love it.
Incredible. Yes, I'm a big fan of biostimulators as well, and I have them in my face also. Tell me a little bit. So, a lot of people are used to getting hyaluronic acid fillers. Let's talk a little bit about what the difference is and why we're not doing those quite as much anymore, because I know a lot of patients ask about that.
Absolutely. I know it's a big thing in the media right now because a lot of people have had negative media and so things, stories on their social media related to fillers. So the word filler sometimes just scares someone that first walks through the door, but it really shouldn't. And I'll tell you why. Fillers are made of a mimic of what's naturally occurring in our body, hyaluronic acid. Hyaluronic acid, we love. We put on topically in a lot of our skincare products. And that mimic of what we lose underneath the surface of our skin, it goes away. It shrinks down as we get older. So our skin looks less hydrated. It looks less plump and full in certain areas. And it just doesn't have that glow that it should. So when we add hyaluronic acid back to the face, we're doing it very artistically and we're doing it in small volumes that don't make it so that we're adding, hey, 11 to 12 syringes to the face. We're adding somewhere between 3 and 4 syringes to the face, or maybe 1 syringe to the lips, because that add back gives you back your natural volume. And the reason why I like fillers along with Sculptra is you can't put Sculptra in the lips. We still need it there. Projecting a chin, if a chin needs some projection, giving yourself a little bit of chin and jawline. And even I just put filler actually in this part of my hairline for a mimicked PDO thread lift in my mid face 2 days ago. Beautiful technique that we just learned from Dr. Stephen Yolen. It lifts your face back up. And when done perfectly and beautifully, it looks natural. But when it's overdone too much, you look like an alien face. That's when people are seeing that bad media. So we've always done a smaller amount of filler in faces. I know that there are a lot of pharmaceutical companies out there. I mean, I remember watching during COVID some trainings online and they were showing, ways to inject 8 to 12 syringes into a face for a whole natural volume add. Well, if you're putting that much into a face every couple years and we're telling patients that it lasts 2 years, well, in some parts of the face, it lasts a lot longer than that. And MRI studies have shown that. So that's why the negative media has come out, because there are some MRI studies showing that filler has just kind of stayed in certain compartments of the face. Well, that's not a bad thing if it's a great compartment for it to be staying in. We do fat transfers into the face to mimic and get that natural volume back. So, in my opinion, I still love filler just as much. I just love Sculptra first for that lifting effect. And then at the same time, maybe I'm doing some chin. Maybe for a quick fix, I'm doing some lateral cheeks. Sometimes people need their medial tear trough. They definitely need their lips, because I say our lips turn from plump grapes into raisins as we age, and they turn in from our faces. So who doesn't want to have a little bit of a lift to change that length of the line that is a characteristic trait of aging? The line between the base of the nose and the upper lip gets longer. So there are tricks we can do with filler that are just so beautiful, but you have to recognize filler is an art, and you have to have someone injecting you that's a true artist, that's studied facial art, I literally study facial artist drawings. I go to art museums. I look at Michelangelo's paintings. I look at sketches. I look at the golden ratio. I look at other ethnic proportions, 1-to-1 ratio rather than the golden. And in all these ways, if you're injected by an artist that picks the right product of filler to put in your face that moves perfectly and mimics you, you're going to look a lot more natural as you get older. And I mean, ultimately, I say to my patients, you had the choice to be put into a time machine and your face to transform back to your 20s or 30s, or maybe if you're, 60, 70, back to your 50s. Wouldn't you choose to say, yes, I'm going to press that button? Well, you just need to find the right person to get you there. So that's my opinion on filler. I think it's a beautiful, beautiful addition to the face.
Yes, and you are a true artist. I've seen your work, and you are absolutely fantastic in
Thank
everything that you do.
you. Thank you.
So getting to the whole time back, I know the aesthetics industry is really moving towards natural results, and that's changed our whole
Yes.
industry conversation. Tell me
Mhm.
more about your take on that, how that's changed how you practice over the last several years. What are some of
Mhm.
the misconceptions that you wish patients better understood?
So starting with, I'll touch on both of those things. Starting with the hold time back formula that I've created specifically for my office. What I do in my new patient consults is I say, I want to create a customized treatment plan for you. You might be an all natural type of person. You might think Sculptra fits your all natural way of life. You might think medical grade skincare does. I have a formula of 5 things. The 5 things are medical grade skincare, wrinkle relaxers, dermal fillers and biostimulators, skin tightening and skin resurfacing, and muscle toning and lifting. And that's our M-Face device. And we have it for the body too. Okay. So out of those 5 things, I can tell you about all of those 5 things, but then we're going to customize it according to your mindset and where you want to go with things and what your daily routines are. So if somebody is coming in and they want all natural, I'm like, okay, well, you definitely need to be on medical grade skincare products on a daily basis because that alone with science is going to change the future of how your face looks and how tight your skin is. So I start there and then I just kind of feel them out from there. I think a lot of the misconceptions are you walk into a med spa and you're going to walk out looking like you've been on the show Botched. I think especially when I treat women that are married and their husbands know that they're coming to see us for the first time, they are like, my husband doesn't want me to do too much. He's nervous I'm going to have duck lips. He doesn't want me to look like my friend Janie, and they show me a picture. And I'm like, listen, I understand that there are artists out there that have a different perception of what natural beauty is and what facial art should be. And that's truly just choosing a different artist. Like, you go to a Michelangelo, you go to a Van Gogh, you go to a Monet, you go to someone that has a completely skewed perception of things, modern contemporary. But that's you choosing the right person and the right person with the right expertise that has dedicated their life to this study and really wants to level up and teach you and train you what even the cutting edge things are. So I think the biggest misconception is you're going to go into a med spa and you're going to come out looking bad, or like people will be whispering about you, or they'll be saying, "Gosh, what happened to her?" Really, it should be they ask you in the future, 3 to 6 months down the line as you start your treatments, wow, you look more refreshed. Are you getting more sleep? You look so good. What did you do? Like I treated someone yesterday, their lips, and she thought she'd never get lips in her whole life. And this is a common story with people that I treat. And she goes, I saw so and so's lips and they looked so good and her face looked so amazing that I had to come see you. And I thought I didn't want lips, but now I'm just going to say, hey, you tell me what I need to do, and now let's design my face for the future. And I think that really as we approach decades of life changes, we really want that the most. So yeah, I mean, do you see this too?
Oh, absolutely, all the time. We also often see the opposite situation where people come in maybe for the first time and they are feeling like, in one session they can get 1 or 2 syringes or, do one particular thing and then they're
Yes.
done. And I think people have a hard time understanding that it is a process and it is
Mhm.
a series of protocols and a treatment plan, kind of the way we do in all of medicine. You can't always
Mhm.
fix something in just one visit.
Let's talk about it related to medicine since we've both treated patients going through things. If somebody has, say, cardiac disease or they have a decreased ejection fraction and now they're overweight, they're obese, and their diet is bad, you have to change every piece of their life. You have to change their exercise habits, you have to change their diet, you have to adjust their medications appropriately. You have to make sure they're getting the proper checkups and the proper screenings to prevent further things from happening and look at all the other spheres of their life. Now, of course, yes, I touch on just aesthetics for the face and body, but my patients need to also go see wellness doctors. Aesthetic medicine is highly intertwined with what's happening on the inside too. So I believe that inside and outside, you should both be looking at as far as treatment. So that's the overview. But in the field of just aesthetics, if we're talking about aesthetics just for your face, if I'm only doing your wrinkle relaxer, so I'm only doing Botox or Dysport on you, and your only concern is your fine lines of your forehead or your crow's feet, the wrinkles around your eyes, and we treat that. But we don't give you back that collagen that your skin needs. We're not putting you on optimal medical grade skincare. You're not going to have the best result. So it's kind of like, also, I use this analogy too, going to get a pedicure and you have a good, better, best menu. Do you want the best of the best for yourself, or do you just want good? And I mean, sometimes it's influenced by your budget. And so I outline the best every time and I show them the formula with the 5 steps and they go home and they're like, wow, I just learned so much about the way our faces age. And now I'm going to choose one thing at a time and budget for it over time. But now they have a plan and they're not just a number coming in and out just for their Botox treatment. I think we do such a disservice to some people that come in and they just get their Botox treatment and they're not given any other recommendations. They don't realize they could have optimization of all aspects of their face. So, and I mean, when they need surgery, you have to refer them out. You have to tell them, hey, it's time for a bleth. I think you need to go get a consult. It's time for you to consider a lower neck lift if your neck is a big concern. If you're a surgery minded person, and I'll give you three people that I know in town. So it's a comprehensive approach, and you can't just do one thing. I mean, you can. If you're on a budget, I go back to, what is your number one concern? How can we address that number one concern? And I'm going to tell you the three things you can do for that number one concern. This is top, this is middle, this is third, and then we're going to see you transform. But I'd really love to do it for your whole face.
I love it. You touched on aesthetics and wellness merging more than ever before. Let's dive into
Mhm.
that and what
I
that's
love that.
looking. Let's look what
Yes.
that's looking like at HTB now,
Yes.
and what's going on there, and how you're bringing those two worlds together, which we're both working a lot on. So, but go
Yes.
for it.
So aesthetics and wellness, I feel like they're honestly, and they really are two massively different fields, but they're highly related to each other. And at Holden Timeless Beauty, we decided to not do the wellness side fully because we want to be great at one vertical of what we're doing. And there are some people that are great at both. They bring on lots of different practitioners that have passions for the other things, but we have a major passion for aesthetics. And from the wellness perspective, we only offer a couple things, namely Emsella, which is strengthening our pelvic floor, helping with urinary incontinence and sexual wellness. We offer Sculpt Neo from the functional medicine perspective to strengthen your muscles. But I refer out to you and to Dr. Silva for other things related to peptides, hormones, and people. My friends are going to go see you for Exomind, Georgine. Georgine, I mean, like that is the biggest part of wellness that's hit the stage, and I am so fascinated with it. And you've been a leader in that field, so I know this isn't about Exomind, but I'd love for you to talk a little bit about that because I know some of the listeners are going to be super curious about coming to you for treatments for that.
Yeah, absolutely. So for our listeners who don't know, ExoMind is the leading TMS platform for mental wellness out there today. What it does is it uses magnetic field energy to help regulate our mood and give us better resilience and help us be better in control of our emotions. And really, it's more of prevention for mental wellness to help us be feeling like we can cope with life and all the stressors and challenges that we're often faced with. And we're seeing that in more aesthetics practices as well as traditional primary care practices. And it's really booming all over the country. So it's just fascinating to see how, even in just the last six months, that field has just exploded with the advent of ExoMind in the market. And I know you and I are going to talk about that on your podcast later.
Mhm. We
So,
sure are. Yes.
yeah.
So I've experienced Exomine with you. I've absolutely loved it. My husband has. He'd have no problem with me sharing that, and you'll see our testimonials soon. But mental wellness, I think it starts at the top. Mental wellness, that mental clarity, and then from there, hormone optimization, right? Doing peptide optimization, really keeping your body in the best shape it possibly can be, and thinking about your nutrition and dialing in what's great for your body. I've taken a test called Viome, and it tells me, which foods create inflammation in my body. So I have a superfood list, and I have a do not eat, and I have everything in the middle. And so I try to pay attention to that. It's not always easy when you're on the road. And when you try a low cholesterol diet, that's not easy
Yes.
either. No meat. But there are things we can do, as we get older, just to optimize not only our face, but our bodies, our insides, and our ultimate health. I mean, I am blessed to have you, Georgine, as my concierge primary care doctor, and you are just absolutely fabulous. So I can say this, if anyone out there is listening and you're looking for somebody to take incredible care of you, you choose Dr. Nanos, because my husband and I have both chosen her, and she is just absolutely wonderful.
You are so kind. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
I wanted to ask another question when we were talking about the peptides and GLP specifically. So
Hmm.
obviously,
Okay.
that is all the rage right now.
Yeah.
A lot of patients are worried about losing too much weight, losing too much, getting too much laxity in their skin, getting Ozempic face. How do
Hmm.
you address that? What's your thought on all of that? What does it look like at HTB?
What it looks like for treatments that we offer. We start with M-Face and Sculptra as the two early on, and it really just depends on what age you are and how much weight you want to lose. And really what other treatments you've had before. But if you're, say, 40 years old, you're going through a 50-pound weight loss journey, we know that you're going to lose fat pads in your face. They're going to redistribute, and you've already lost muscle mass in your face. So as your face starts to lose weight too, you're going to notice changes and sagging. You'll notice jowls, you'll notice, mid-facial lines, and really putting Sculptra in at the beginning of the journey, we need it anyway, then it already is attacking that problem. And I like to combine Sculptra with M-Face, mid-face, forehead. And if someone has any sagginess in the lower area, I put the submental applicator there. And everyone loves the eye applicator for that crepiness under the eyes. But that's how we're approaching it. We are getting people started on Sculptra and on M-Face early.
Let's talk a little bit about M-Face because I don't think a lot of people
Okay.
are too familiar with it, and it
Yes,
is one of my favorite devices. And I know we don't have it at
I love
Kind, but
it.
I know you have it, and I am obsessed with it. I try to try it out anytime I have an opportunity. But let's talk a little bit about that, and then the new eye
Yes,
applicators.
let's do it. I'm here for it. So M-Face is an incredible treatment that combines high frequency electric stimulation and radio frequency. That high frequency electric stimulation contracts your muscles and increases the tone of your muscle in your forehead and also lifts the tissue back up into a more youthful position in just 4 sessions. The radio frequency component increases both collagen and elastin in your skin. So as you express in your forehead, you actually have less wrinkles. And so if you don't want to do Botox in your forehead, or say you do, I'll talk about both categories and then we'll move down the face. But if you don't want to do Botox in your forehead, you're going to have about a 30% wrinkle reduction and a tightening effect of your skin. And you're going to have on average a 6 millimeter lift in your brows. When you tone your frontalis muscle, it just pulls all the tissue back up into a more youthful position. So the target muscles here are elevators. Okay? The second area that was released first was the midface, and it targets the zygomaticus major, minor, and risorius. And it lifts your midface and all the tissues that go along with it back up into a more youthful position. All of this is interconnected to our platysma. So you even see this beautiful jawline lift because the platysma extends here, it goes up into your jawline. So when you do mid-face, 4 sessions, they're 20 minutes each, it gives you a lift, you see your volume lift, and it actually mimics filler in the mid-face because it lifts you back up into that more youthful position. We have the submental applicator. Okay, the submental applicator combines high FES plus a different form of radio frequency. It's called RF plus, and this contracts the digastric muscle. So it sculpts you into more of a 90-degree, okay, because we start to become less of that 90-degree angle in our jawline as we get older. And it also hits our fat cells in that area. And when you heat fat cells above 42 degrees Celsius, it actually tells them to start dying, triggers what's called apoptosis. And over 3 to 6 months, you have a clearing of the fat cells in this area. Around 30% of that fat cell loss happens. So it's a beautiful way to get rid of a little submental fat and also lift you back up. Then this year, the M-Face eye applicators were released. And we know that we have so many patients that come in with a chief complaint of, I hate the wrinkles around my eye, and particularly that crepey skin and the wrinkles that happen right under the eye. Well, we don't have that many options. Of course, we could put Botox all around the eye. Some people don't like the way that looks or feels as we put it all the way under the eye. So now we have the M-Face eye applicator that is applied under the eye like this and goes out to about here. And it contracts the muscle, the orbicularis oculi, makes it more toned, lifts you back up into a more youthful position, diminishing the appearance of dark circles. And then the radio frequency aspect delivers a radio frequency stimulating your body to produce collagen and elastin. These are the springs in the mattress. Our skin becomes tighter, and now we see less wrinkles in that area. It is a absolutely beautiful treatment. We used to have to say, I need you to go see a plastic surgeon. I mean, in some cases, it depends on the patient, or a lower eyelid blepharoplasty consult. And now we're able to tighten that skin, strengthen the muscle, lift patients back up, help with, bags under the eyes, help with fluid buildup out here. And it's just a beautiful treatment just for tightening in that area. And I like to combine that with a product called Plated Eye, which is an exosome that stimulates stem cells to come to that area and regenerate the extracellular matrix. So that combination is a winning combination in our practice for eyes. So M-Face as a whole, I know there are 9 to 10 more things that are being developed by BTL right now because they're an incredibly innovative company based in Prague. And these are just the first four areas that we're hitting, the elevators of the face to lift our face back up into a more youthful position. So it's the next chapter of the story that's developing in aesthetics and how we can really do things naturally. There is no downtime. You put the
And
applicator on, 20 minutes, you walk out, we take it off, zero downtime. You're back to whatever you're doing.
I love it so much. And it's just incredible what we can do now with energy-based medicine, and BTL is definitely leading that charge. Let's talk a little bit about our necks.
Yeah. So over the course of time with your neck, lots of things. You can do lots and lots of things. Starts with sun exposure and sunscreen because the more we bake in the sun, we're breaking down our collagen, our elastin, and our skin is aging. So the more sunscreen when you're youthful you can put on that area, the more you can cover it, the better. So that's step one. Step two, I would hit a neck with microneedling with radio frequency and also the décolleté on a regular basis once a year starting around age 30 on a regular basis to tighten that skin and use Elastin's restorative neck complex. It has a trihex technology in it, which is absolutely phenomenal. It stimulates the body to clear away dead collagen and grow new collagen. So I use their restorative neck complex twice a day on my neck. I get regular microneedling with radio frequency on my neck, but I have also had a neck lift because at some point, so Dr. Gilbert Lee, when I was in my early 40s, I had some laxity, and you can look at my Instagram, dr.amanda.holden, and look up my highlight videos. And it says neck surgery journey. You can watch the entire process. You can see what I didn't like in the beginning, what was bugging me, because sometimes skin laxity is the main thing that there is, and there's not much you can do about it. So he did a lift in my lower neck, but I still have to take care of the skin on top of it. The final thing that we've just added is hyperdilute radiesse to the neck as a biostimulator. So we're using Sculptra in the face and in the neck, hyperdilute radiesse as the biostimulator in that area. But it's always someone's top concern. And if they have too much just loose skin that's hanging, even if they point to the area under their chin and there's some fat there too, you don't want to necessarily dissolve that fat because you're just going to leave them with a turkey gobbler, and they need it surgically addressed, So I'm always very honest with my patients about their necks. But if someone's more youthful and coming to me about preventative stuff, I mean, I'm all in for microneedling with RF, restorative neck complex, and then they start hyperdilute radiesse. That's our winning combination.
Love it. I love it so much. Let's talk a little bit about trends that you see coming in 2026 and beyond, where we're going.
So there's going to be a lot of regenerative medicine coming to the face in 2026 and beyond. It's already happening in Korea. Some of my aesthetic friends, colleagues have already traveled there and actually experimented with these treatments, and I've seen their faces. These things are not FDA approved quite yet here, but things like Essence, which is a platelet-derived growth factor that is 300,000 times the concentration of our own body's PRP. That is going to be the future, injecting things that are growth factors into the deep face, near the bone, near the fat, that stimulate our body to reproduce and regenerate our cells in those areas. Stem cells are a huge thing. Exosomes are a huge thing. And I think in the future, we're going to have a lot of combination products that are biostimulators with growth factors in combination, and fillers with growth factors in combination to make things look even better and even more like us. So I think that's the biggest trend in the future.
Can you explain for our listeners what the difference is between growth factors, PRP, and exosomes? So those are words that get thrown around a lot,
Yes.
and a lot of people
Yes.
don't understand the difference.
Yes. So the basic difference of all of these three. So PRP is a form of our blood. So if I give you my arm, if you give me your arm in clinic and I withdraw blood, I can then spin that blood down in a centrifuge, and I can extract the growth factors inside that platelet-rich plasma. Okay. They're growth factors that our own human body has. And I can extract those down and I can put them into a syringe, and then I can use them for microneedling on your face. And now I'm using your body's own growth factors. Okay. That's good and that's bad. It's good because it's all natural and it's you, but depending on your age and your health, you're only going to get a certain concentration of growth factors. And the older you are, the more unhealthy your body becomes. So your own PRP isn't going to stimulate as much as it would when you were more youthful. So companies have now developed a synthetic version of growth factor that they can multiply in a little plasmid. So they insert like a little gene and multiply it over and over again in a plasmid. And it now has 300,000 times the concentration of our own body's PRP. So you imagine now you inject that into the hair. And we used to like inject PRP into hairlines to stimulate growth in people that had thinning hair. Imagine injecting that into your tear troughs. And now, so PRP transforms from regular concentration to 300,000 times the concentration, and you're just putting whispers of that into areas to stimulate growth in a very natural way in your body. And then when we think about exosomes, they're cellular messengers. So they're cellular messengers that turn on or off pathways. And when they turn on a pathway, they might turn a pathway on that's a good pathway for anti-aging. And so in particular, plated is one that I absolutely love. We have the Intense Face Serum. We only stock the Intense because I like the double the strength of exosomes. We have plated eye and we have plated hair. And all three of them work incredibly. They're made at the Mayo Clinic and they stimulate your body to turn on a pathway that recruits stem cells to the area that you've applied the product. And those stem cells start stimulating your body to age in reverse, literally regenerating your extracellular matrix, helping your hair follicles grow. And suddenly you see that your face is aging in reverse. So the way I use plated is I put it on, I wash my face at night and I put it on for 10 minutes. The stimulation lasts for 10 minutes. So you have to leave it alone and then put on your other products after that. So it's very confusing out there. You need a guide that's going to guide you through which way to go. A lot of people have heard of PRP first in the past, and so they think it's still potentially the best option, but there are absolutely better options out there. And, people are playing with off-label things. I'll just say that. We might
Yeah.
not be able to advertise that we are, but we've done off-label things forever in aesthetics, and they are working very well. So I can't wait for them all just to come into the mainstream.
Yes, that's definitely the case. Let's talk. So, when we're talking about regenerative medicine and stem cells and those kinds of products, a lot of people are concerned about sourcing. Can you touch a little bit about that? Because it is kind of the Wild West out there. And,
I mean,
that's
it's
something
so
that
that
is
is such
hard.
that is such a hard one. I personally am not a person that injects stem cells into joints. I know had back issues. I almost got stem cells in my back. At one point, I had a spinal fusion. I did a general stem cell injection into my body. And the mechanism was supposed to find the inflammation and make it go away. And I can't say it helped, but there are definitely companies. So I believe in science. I think that whatever company you are choosing to go with, whatever treatment you are choosing to go with, you need to know where the sourcing comes from. And you need to know that they've done clinical studies to back that it actually works. So they need to have their research facility, it needs to be a reputable place. It needs to have published research. It needs to also be sourced properly. But I'm not an expert in the area of stem cell sourcing. I would recommend to my patients, if you're going to be using stem cells, you need to speak to your provider and have them fully explain why they sourced from that company, and then also research that company. And in the era of ChatGPT too, you can explain what you're thinking of doing, and then have all the different alternative treatments outlined for you, and even ask it to tell you which clinical studies have been done, and in their opinion, what would be the top thing to do. I know ChatGPT is not a physician. I like to compare every bit of research out there with that quick search in that sense to really figure it out. Do you do stem cells?
We do not. So, same thing. We are
Yeah,
having,
it is.
sourcing is really a big deal. But yeah, there's like we were saying, it's just everyone. The field is advancing so quickly that it is sometimes hard to parse the what's safe and from what's
Right.
not, and
I
it's
know.
it can be very confusing for people.
Mhm.
Let's talk a little bit about, you are such a leader in the aesthetic field. You're an incredible mentor and educator. Tell me how that journey has evolved for you over the years. And I know you have got some exciting things coming up. Let's talk about those as well.
Okay, great. Yeah, so I started out in the field of emergency medicine. I actually started at Pfizer as a clinical scientist during undergrad, and I worked there for 2.5 years, published research in benchtop data. And so that's why I have such a big passion for clinical. My background's in biology and psychiatry. And so I did clinical research kind of in both of those areas. Then I went into emergency thinking that was going to be my forever field and passion. And herniated a disc in my back, and really thought, wow, I don't know if I can fly in the air and take care of trauma patients and do all the things that I was doing with my back deteriorating a little bit. So I decided to jump into the field of of aesthetic medicine in 2017. And when I took my first training course, it was a 8-hour course one day out in Arizona. And I went, are you serious? This is what people are learning. And then they're going and hanging a shingle up and saying they can inject faces. This is insane. I had been chief resident at UCSD. I ran the residency program for Palomar Hospital, trained 43 residents a year. And I was floored. And I felt this calling to become a leader and an educator in the field and study every little bit of aesthetic medicine that was out there and then bring back and fold it together for that layperson to really understand when they're first journeying into aesthetics so that they know what to study, how to become great, what formulas to use, what's actually right. And over that course of time, I attended, 10, 12 conferences a year and really just dove headfirst into the field, as if I was going through my own residency in aesthetic medicine. I did a board certification through Empire Medical Training in aesthetic medicine. It's kind of funny that there is one, but there is one. So I completed that because I said I'm gonna check every box I can. I became a master injector twice from Allergan. And then I went, you know what? Now I'm going to dive into business. And I went headfirst then into business, along with still injecting my patients, and studied with the 10X community with Grant Cardone and Brandon Dawson, and really learned at a high level how to really grow and scale businesses and what the possibilities of the future were. And this was in 2021. And I started working with a mentor. Her name is Sharon Lecter. She's my mentor. I work with her on a monthly basis. And she's taught me that truly anything is possible. She's written 26 books on financial freedom. And I looked at my life and went, you know what? I'm going to mold my life to have the most financial success I possibly can in the future. But I also want to teach my team how to do this. So through the journey, I've taken my team internally at Holden Timeless Beauty on this ride. And in 2023, we chose to partner with Alpha Aesthetics. And John Wheeler and were the first two partners. And we decided we were going to create a vertical of aesthetics that would incorporate best practices for the future of delivery of aesthetic care to patients and best business practices. So all of the things I study, I'm now delivering to this platform of Alpha Aesthetics as we're growing it for the future. We now have 13 partners in 25 locations, and we're growing. And we have another 4 to 5 people under LOI right now. And it's been an incredible journey going from a mom and pop, doing $5 to $6 million in revenue to growing your business to a $90 million company looking at 150 million in the future with our vertical of Alpha. And then having now this vision of going to $1 billion company and combining the best minds across the nation to deliver education to each other. So we have 160 providers right now. We have a masterclass every 6 weeks where we learn from some of the best trainers in the entire world. That's why I just learned from Stephen Yellen this hairline technique on our last masterclass call, among many other things that he taught. And he's done over 400 research clinical trials with Allergan. And he's just a fascinating guy. And getting to know Dr. Jean Carruthers, who was the founder, like she discovered that Botox cosmetic could be used around the eyes when she was using it medically. She's on my podcast. Just meeting these leaders in the field and learning their stories, it's inspired me to my goal is to deliver education and be a global thought leader in aesthetics and really share what I've learned and share what I continue learning with others, both in aesthetics and in business. And then really to create an incredible culture within the walls of my practice so that when you come to work, you feel like you're learning every day. You're delivering the best of the best patient care to your patients. as innovative things come out, we're adopting those things that really work, and you're right on the cutting edge. So it's an exciting environment to work in the clinical space, and then also in the creative space. That's a preview. I'm going to be speaking at Aesthetic Next 7.0 in Dallas. I love Aesthetic Record as a platform. I'm going to be at the Women in Leadership Conference that's going to be in Palos Verdes this October. Kathy, who's the head of AmSpa, has really put together a fabulous conference where she's combined female minds from all over the nation in aesthetics. And the conference is not just female aesthetics leaders talking, it's female visionary leaders talking to inspire us to be greater. So I'm excited about that one. That one's in October. I'll have a lot of scattered BTL conferences too. But my most exciting thing is that I was nominated to go to Richard Branson's island next year. And I was invited. I know I've got like little goosebumps, like thinking about it. I mean, he's been such an incredible visionary and mentor and idol of mine. I've studied his masterclass. He does a masterclass on the app Masterclass. I love watching these about his Virgin brand, and he has over 400 like businesses out of the Virgin brand. And I mean, that's honestly what I aspire to do with Holden Timeless Beauty, HTB, Hold Time Back, Have the Best. Everything that we are building is in a vision of how 10X and Grant Cardone built 16 brands, how Richard Branson built 400. Josh and I are working to build massive brands across our as we develop our brands as a family. Okay, so Holden Timeless Beauty is our aesthetics brand, HTB Aesthetics. We have a foundation called the HTB Legacy Foundation. His business is HTB Business Solutions that offers merchant services and just the lowest rates possible to business owners when you accept credit cards. So he processes for about 700 businesses across the nation right now in big groups. And so we're just kind of seeing this vision from visionaries of how did you create this incredible financial freedom for your family, for the future, and for yourself. And to be invited to Richard Branson's island to go on to a visionary retreat in June is like the most exciting thing ever. They have 50 entrepreneurs from around the world that they select to go. Josh and I are both going to go. And the retreat is called Finding My Virginity. And it's a really crazy word, right? But it's all about waking up. When you wake up and you feel like you don't have a passion for something, that's not really living, right? We need to wake up and always feel like we have a passion for something new and something greater. And it doesn't have to change constantly. You can go after one goal, and once you've achieved that goal, now you go after the next one. But it's just waking up with that passion and that vision to accomplish as much as we can in life. And go learn how Richard did it and be with him for 4 days and all these other visionaries and executives from Virgin America. I like honestly can't believe it. I feel like it's a dream come true. It is a dream come true.
I am so incredibly proud of you and so happy for you. You really are. You already are a global thought leader. You are the queen. You are my hero. You're
Oh,
really, I
thank
mean, what
you.
everything you've achieved in the last 7, 8 years since you've started Holden Timeless Beauty. I've been watching your journey is just it's to be admired. It's
Thank
incredible.
you.
So
Thank you.
I wanted to wrap up with a fun little lightning round. So I'm
Okay.
going to have you give like some 1 or 2 word answers uh, for, I got about like 10 or 12 like funny questions here. Some are funny,
Okay.
some are serious. Just kind of first thing that pops into your mind. All
Okay.
right, let's start. What's the most overused word in aesthetics?
Oh man, goodness. Natural. Right now it's natural because everyone wants to claim that they're doing natural things.
Okay, celebrity whose glow you secretly admire.
Oh, people don't like Kim Kardashian, but I love her.
That's okay.
I love that brand of families. I think they're so fascinating. And
They
I love
are.
reality TV.
Well, that was going to be my next question. Favorite guilty pleasure TV show or movie?
Oh, The Bachelor and The Bachelorette. We're watching Bachelor in Paradise right now. I mean, we are obsessed with that show. So Selling the OC is coming out. Their next season is coming out in November. And Josh and I filmed with the group because I treat two of the realtors on it. So I
Oh
cannot
my
wait for
God.
Selling the OC in November to come out.
Who's your favorite
So
character? I
on
don't know if
Selling
you,
the OC. And Ashton is incredible. I heard that she's going to have a little bit of a mean girl character. So you might not like that I said she's not a mean girl, but I heard that she's a mean girl on this show. And she's
I
pregnant
love it.
during the whole thing. Now has had her
Oh
baby,
God,
but she had those pregnancy hormones happening. So maybe it created a little mean girl character.
I love it. Okay, what's one skincare product that you never skip?
I never skip Alto Advanced. It's an antioxidant. I put it on my face every single day, twice a day.
Okay.
It's made
First
by
thing you
Skin
do.
Better.
Okay. First
Mhm.
thing you do in the morning.
I wake up and I go turn on my coffee machine. Coffee
My
is
next
my
question.
very first step.
Yes. And third
I
and
get my
fourth and
cup of
second.
coffee and then I typically take it and I go, I have a walking board in my room, in my bedroom with a big screen computer. And I start walking with some really light music.
Oh,
And
I
I
like
walk and
that.
I check, I just start my day and check like the schedule at Holden Timeless Beauty, check our financials. And I just slowly get started and just sip on my coffee until I have my Diet Mountain Dew and start going really fast.
I'm a Diet Coke fanatic. I get it. So, what's a beauty trend you wish would just disappear?
The facial taping thing, I mean, what the heck? Why are
What?
people
I haven't even
taping
heard
their
of it.
faces?
What is
They're
that?
taping their faces t- to make it mimic Botox because if they tape their face and can't make expressions, they're at night, they're not going to get wrinkles. So they shouldn't do Botox. You should tape your face. That's one of the
That's the
stupid trends.
dumbest
It's
thing I've ever
so
heard.
stupid.
Okay. Okay, city for people watching faces.
Oh, Los Angeles for sure. I mean, incredible. Actually, I mean, Vegas. Holy cow. If you're
Oh
walking
yeah,
around Vegas at a conference, wow, there are some characters there. And you go walking on the strip, whoa.
the aesthetic show. Oh my God.
It's the best.
Okay, heels or sneakers?
Always sneakers because I wish I could wear my heels, but my back, I have this, now fused. And if I put on heels, it can only last for maybe an hour, and then my foot just starts getting super irritated. So I am now a sneaker girl, trendy sneakers, and I live in them.
Okay, I
Yep.
love it.
Although the
Okay, if you,
Birkenstock trend is coming back. I don't know if you
I
know that
know,
in
I do know
schools,
that. Yeah, it feels like
like
it's
in
1990 all over
16-year-olds.
again. Yes,
I'm
my
shocked.
my son wears them.
Yeah,
It's
I used
it's
to wear them
bizarre.
when I was
Yeah.
at your age. Yeah.
Okay, if you weren't in aesthetics, you'd be doing what?
I would be creating things related to nutrition and health, workouts for people. Because if I wasn't working, this is like if I wasn't in aesthetics and wasn't working, and I say semi-retire, I'd be focused on health, nutrition constantly, and then real estate investment. So that's what I
Love
would be
it.
doing.
Okay. What's one thing, last question, one thing your patients would be shocked to learn about you?
Hmm. Let's see here. What would they be shocked to learn about me? My patients in particular. I feel like I tell my patients everything. It's so funny. I think they're always shocked to learn that I flew all over Southern California as a flight physician rescuing people. And they love to hear the stories and they love to hear the goriest stories of what happened in the trauma bay if we're getting really deep. So those are the things that they love to hear. I'm trying to think shocked. This is so interesting. I got it. I am an introvert.
I'm
I
shocked to
get
hear that.
I can do people for a while. Okay. I was a cheerleader in high school, but the more people I'm with throughout the day, it just drains my energy. And by the end of the day, when I get in my car, I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to do anything. I need like a good 6 hours of just chilling before I go out and do something. And I get like, if I have to go to an event at night after being with people all day, like at conferences, let's talk about BTL conference. I dread it because I'm already so tired. I just want to go meditate and relax and take a walk and look at the flowers.
I'm with
That's
you.
it. I'm an extroverted introvert. I can make myself extroverted and I do like social media because I'm not like on the spot, but I love just being alone and having my mind as a visionary and creating things. I love that so much. I love taking care of my patients too because there's a purpose. But
Yeah.
just going to an event just to socialize and just kind of be there to talk to people, I dread it. I'm like, oh, I don't want to
Well,
go.
you're so good at faking it because I'm
I
with you
know.
all the time. And
What
I'm
am
like,
I supposed
wow,
to
you're
do?
amazing. I know.
I, like, can we just go back and watch reality TV?
Well, maybe at the next conference that we're at together, you and I will sneak off and we'll just go
Yeah,
watch The Bachelor.
we should go do ExoMind and Neo and Emcella and
Exactly.
just go do
Exactly.
treatments
I love it. I love
and
it.
not talk to anyone.
Okay, it's on.
Uh,
Um, this, Amanda, has been awesome. This has been such an inspiring conversation. Thank you so much for sharing your insights and your passion and your vision for the future. I'm, again, so proud of you and so in awe of you. For those listening, tell us where we can find more of you. And yeah, take us away.
First, thank you so much for having me. It's so fun just to talk to you. I love you to death. If you're wanting to find me, you can find me on Instagram. I answer all of my own Instagram messages on my personal Instagram. It's dr.amanda.holden. If you want to follow my business, it's Holden Timeless Beauty Med Spa. That's my director of marketing answering. But if you want a direct line to me, just DM me on my Instagram. I have a website, Dr. Amanda Holden as well. But your direct line to me is that Dr. Amanda Holden. I'm on LinkedIn, same exact name. And I'd love to see you if you want an aesthetic consult here in San Diego or beyond. I have a patient that just texted me from London. She moved there. She's flying back in October. So, it's forever relationships as your lifetime beauty partner. I'd love to see you. Finally, podcast. My podcast is on Apple and Spotify. It's called Holding Time Back. So please listen to my podcast, figure out which episode you might want to listen to first. It might be learning about lips or the invention of Botox, or maybe just about like how to choose the right injector. So I have a lot of different things to choose from there on Apple and Spotify. And like it and comment. And then Dr. Nanos is going to be on there with me soon. We're going to record together within the next month. So make sure you listen to her podcast episode as well.